RORO, your Regency Oaks resident organization. First of all, I'm going to ask people to turn off their cell phones so it doesn't interrupt. And hopefully I'll remember to remind you to turn them back on because I always forget. Want to remind you how important your name tags are. New people and old people, our memories are not as good as they used to be. And having the name tag is going to help us say hello to new people and old people. Pendants are very important to have. I went on Amazon. I now have a new beaded lanyard. If you go on Amazon, this was a whopping $8. They have beaded ones. They have all kinds of things, lady, if you want something different that is out there. Right now, I'd like to call the meeting to order. I will entertain a motion to accept or approve the minutes that were put in the glass case in both buildings. John motions to do it, and Judy seconds. All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. The motion carries. Thank you. Every RORO quarter, I do a little talk. It's just something that just happens to pop into me. This one was something different. It will be different. A lawyer once said to me, if it's not in writing, it was never said. If you're walking down the hall and you see a director such as Ginger, and you want, Ginger, I would like to start a new bocce ball court. By the time she gets back to her office, 20 other people are going to say something to her. Put it in writing. Some of the things that you can do at Regency Oaks is if you turn in a work order. You know, you have a little piece of paper that you sometimes hand in. Take it back when they're done, or better yet, ask the front desk to print a copy of your work order. Have proof. You have a special event, such as a birthday party, in the private dining room, Regency room. Ask the dining room manager, tell them your location, your date, your time, and number of people, so they can tell you whether that's available, whether that room fits that number of people. If it's in writing and then they write back to you, you now know what's going on and where you're going to be. You want to start a rock climbing group or another activity, or you need a poster made, send an email to Ginger or Sam. If it's in writing, they can see it and do it, and they'll email back to you and say, yes, we can or cannot. You want to make a change to your apartment. Say you have carpet and you decide you want vinyl. Any changes major like that, you need to go to Lindsay. I took my carpet out and put vinyl in. I went to Brant, because Brant was here at the time, because you have to have a licensed and bonded vendor and have it approved. So I went to Brant, I got it in writing, it came back. Just, if it's in writing, it really happened. If you get a response to an email, keep it. If you do not use a computer or another smart device, write something on paper, send it to the person through the mail, our inner-house mail, and then ask them to respond to you on the bottom of your paper. If signing something, read it, especially contracts, or have one of your adult children read it. These are just little common sense things in this crazy world where things have gotten more complicated. At this time, I would like to talk about our RORO meetings. We've been talking about how to do something different. One of the ideas that we tossed around was having a question and answer period. So you would come with your questions for all the different committees. Think about that, and then if you see one of us, tell us your opinion of that idea, or any other ideas that you'd like to see us do for this meeting. And we do it quarterly. The next one will be July, and the last one of the year is November. At this time, I'd like to have the different committees give their reports. Candy, you want to start?
Sure.
We'll just go down the line.
Thank you, Margaret, and good morning to you all. And my word of the day is food. I will introduce myself. I'm Candy Muller, Chair of the Dining Committee. Ricky Bacher is our Director of Food and Beverage. Dustin Windsor is our Assistant Director of Food and Beverage. And Todd White is our Executive Chef. Members of the Dining Committee, my loyal, trustworthy Dining Committee, Gail Logan, Pam DiMarino, Margaret Hendry, Edie James, Judy Studebaker, Charlie Davis, Bobby Belcher, and Brenda Hankey. And they're a wonderful group. So I'm supposed to share with you our accomplishments. And I don't know if you're like me, but food is it. I go to sleep before I go to bed, I check the menu, and then I wake up in the morning and check it again, because I don't remember. But anyway, we have 478 residents here. And I can remember, no, I won't use that word. I can remember complaining because I had 4 children and I had to cook dinner for 6 every night. So with 478 residents, Food and Beverage has served over 44,000 meals this quarter alone. And those meals include both dining rooms, the pub, employee meals, guests, we often bring guests, Sunday brunch, the chef's table, the wine pairing, brick and vine dinners, afternoon delights, breezeway pop-ups, holiday dinners, cocktail parties. Food and Beverage provides all the food for marketing events and other special events and other groups that come here. I think we had the Sons of the American Revolution. I think we get the Knights of Columbus from time to time. So not only are they preparing meals for 478 residents, but all the other extra things that we do. And I would say if you don't participate in some of those extra things, do it. They're exciting. We continue to have takeout meals for breakfast and lunch at the pub. We have hired Todd White, who I hope you all have met, our new executive chef. We have menu chat every Thursday, and that's a good place to come and share questions or recommend things you would like to see on the menu. We have hired a new manager who is now working in the South Dining Room. Pop-ups have been added to the full count reservation system. So you can get on there and do that, and if we're having, say, pizza, you can put which kind of pizza you would like to have. We continue with the afternoon delights and clubs, and future plans are continue just to have you residents enjoying everything Food and Beverage has to offer. It's a big part of our lives, I know. We would like to continue to listening to you on sharing your thoughts on food and menu choices. And so therefore we still do have menu chat every Thursday. We have what's called now the chef's table, which is a part of your meal of the day, and that will be starting again probably in June. We do continuing education for all the chefs, cooks, dining room servers, managers and staff, and the pub menu is going to be changing on a regular basis. So if anybody has any questions, I'm sure I didn't cover everything. Just let me know. Thank you again for coming and enjoying the food.
I'm Mary Ellen Gardner, and I'm chairperson of the Technology and Communications Committee. And this last quarter, we had the Eastlake students return again in February and March in the Grand Lobby South to help residents with their technology issues. And then yesterday, we had some students from Palm Harbor School that came to assist our residents. And what's today? Wednesday? Today. This afternoon at 1:30, we have Desiree from Safety Harbor Library coming back to do a program showing how to use the app, Libby, on your tablet or your phone or your computer so that you can get books at home since they are not delivering here anymore. So that's at 1:30 today. She was here last week to get everybody signed up so they could have an account. And the IHS now has 2 staff persons part-time to assist residents for a fee. Yay, how long have we asked for that? Also, something I've been talking to some people, there is an open source office program called LibreOffice that's free, and you can open most Apple and most Windows documents, Microsoft documents, with this program. It's free to download, and if you are interested, I have a sign-up sheet, and we can decide when to meet and have a workshop where we can actually download it and see how it's working for you on your particular machine. Laptops, you can use it on your home desktop, but you'd have to bring a laptop. But if anybody's interested, please come up afterwards and sign up here so I'll know if we need to have a workshop on it. Thank you.
Okay, that's something I didn't know about, so I might be interested in doing. I'm Andrea Hagner, and I'm the chairman of the Activities Committee. And instead of Ginger Horty is our director, Sam is our assistant, but instead of going through all of the things that we have been doing, I'm going to talk to you about what we are going to do. I think most of you are aware that we have been focusing on the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. This whole year has been dedicated to that topic. Hopefully a lot of you were here yesterday to see the program we did on it. But many of the resident groups have joined us in presenting programs on this theme. Rova has done so, and so have the History Forum guys. Yesterday, the RORO players presented a stage reading the document, and next week we're going to have 1776 as our afternoon matinee, right, Ginger?
Yes.
Yeah. On July 3rd, we're going to do a sing-along of patriotic songs. John Timpanelli has said he will be delighted to come and join us, lead us in singing, however you want to put it. It should be a fun afternoon, and it's a good chance to break out all your red, white, and blue things and sing some of your favorite songs. July 4th, we're planning a old-fashioned parade. Rova will lead us in a festively decorated golf cart, and we're going to have a boombox blasting out the back with instrumental patriotic music that we can sing along to. We can march to. Hoping to have a couple of drums. We're going to get kazoos for all of you to play. Come along if you want to. We're asking people to decorate their walkers, their wheelchairs, even their canes. Let's do like we used to do when we were kids, and we decorated our bicycles for parades. Same idea. Samantha will have some decoration material for you. Some small flags, some banners, and crepe paper, streamers, things like that. She'll announce it closer to the time when it'll be available. You'll be able to come down to the arts and crafts room and decorate up your things. So it should be fun. The parade will run from the north building, from the front door of the north building, around to the front of the south building. Not too far, but far enough that we can actually get a parade going. Afterwards, we're hoping to have refreshments in the Grand Lobby South, but Dustin and I are negotiating on that one. So, if you see him, tell him you think it would be a good idea. As a committee, we're also planning a clothing swap. We're going to do it May 27th and 28th this year. We also want to try a holiday decoration swap. You probably all have things in your little cages that you used to love and you're getting really tired of. If we all put those things out, we can trade them back and forth. And you can find some new things to love, and somebody else can take your love for things and use them to decorate their apartments. I think it should be a lot of fun. Then we'll have our regular arts and crafts show in November. We're committed to keeping you busy, so check your calendar often. Ginger has made the calendar even more usable. The first 2 weeks are on one side, the last 2 weeks are on the other side. The type is a little bit easier to read, and you can see all the things that we do here at Regency Oaks.
Good morning, I'm Chris Swanson, chairman of the Building and Grounds. And I'd like to introduce my committee. And you might recognize the name. They're the people you can contact with any suggestions, put them in writing. and let them know and bring it to our meetings and we can address them. But Gene Beagles, Ken Cass, Jim Andrus, Steve Evans, Gloria and Ken Talberg, Lou Weislogo, Mike White, and Steve Hodges, Tony Coatramoni, and staff is Amy Broadway, yes, we have got housekeeping with us, and Darwin, and of course our contractor for landscaping is Corey. We've been monitoring several projects in the past 3 or 4 months. And the elevators, tree trimming, new road, and landscaping. Elevators, what a nice thing we've been having going. After rehab, the S-wing was down 6 times after it was rehabbed. And in fact, one person got stuck in it and they had to be taken out. The R-wing was finished. It went down a couple of times too, at least. And as at one time, I heard that the R-wing, S-wing, and the main one were all out at the same time. What left the M-wing, which is reliable. That's the 30-year-old one. And so after they finish the main one, they'll do the M-wing, old reliable. I hope we get it, they can do it on the first shot by the time we get to the south building. Tree trimming. The only thing they're really trimming right now is those that might be put anybody in danger or property in danger. Just general minor tree trimming they're postponing. The new road, or the phase 4 of the road around, we're gonna try and figure that out. We hope the blue team is gone by then. Because parking is gonna be the issue, because there's a lot of parking in those areas. But that's not gonna be towards the end of the year. Landscaping. There's still a lot of landscaping that hasn't been damaged by blue team. And be cognizant of that, and dead plants, things that need to be replanted, remulched, that type. They're starting on mulching, so anything, whatever in a work order, and hopefully get it straightened out. And this is an example of putting in a suggestion in writing. One change that we accomplished here just recently, we were using atrazine as a herbicide on our lawns to kill the dollar weed, which is tough to do. And it was drawn to our attention that that's kind of toxic for children and old elderly people. Anybody hear about that cut description? And what they did was they came up with a contractor that was doing the spreading, and he came up with one that was less toxic. I mean, if it's a herbicide, it's going to kill things. There's some toxicity. So, and they just did it here a couple of days ago. Now, one thing that was beneficial too that we hadn't thought about, they went one step further and they posted the schedule for the lawn herbicide treatment. So, a suggestion, 2 residents came to the board and Mary's committee, my committee. We brought them up to our meetings and also to the board, and we got it done. It's not a big change, but it didn't cost any money. I don't know if it might even save some money. So keep those ideas coming. And because of all that, Amy is reviewing housekeeping chemicals. I mean, they use a lot of chemicals in cleaning up a lot of places and stuff, including linens. And I know some people do their own linens rather than use what that's supplied by Agency Oaks. The housekeeping meeting is 10:30 on Wednesdays, Grand Lobby South. And the maintenance meeting that you can always attend every week is after Tuesday Talk, Grand Lobby South, and at 11 a.m. or thereabouts, depending on when the Tuesday Talk gets over. So anyway, that's what we're doing. It's a lot. So, and I like the idea of a Q&A. We can still have that today.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it, okay,
We
good.
always do it.
Thank you.
I'm Lou Weislow, Chairman of the Finance Committee, and our mission is to monitor the revenues and expenditures for the operation of Regency Oaks. Our committee members are Bobby Boucher, Marie Bishop, Fred Green, Cheryl Hewitt, Steve Hodges, Clayton Parham, and Chris Swanson, and our financial director, Sherry Schitzow. Our objectives are to conduct a monthly review of the financial reports, review the annual financial audit each year, and we interface with the residents and management concerning monthly service fees and selective service costs. This was an interesting month. As of this date, the 2026 financial reports through March, the total operating revenue was under budget by $40,000. Interesting, it's the first time it was under budget. And you know what caused that? It's very simple. We went in, delved into it. 2 things caused that to be under budget. 12 people, or 12 apartments, that had double residence went down to 1. Remember, there's a second person fee in apartments. And 12 times, or 12 apartments, one of the persons left either through death or moving into other housing arrangements. The second factor that caused that decline in budget was the fact that marketing was so very successful. Interesting, because one of the incentives for marketing was that they waived the monthly service fee for them till they got into their apartments. In other words, normally when a person makes a deposit on an apartment, they immediately start paying monthly service fee. So as an incentive, they waived it. So some people didn't get into their apartments for 2, 3, 4 months. So you add that cost, you add the fact that we lost the second person fee in 12 different apartments over that period of time, and added up to the fact that we were under budget in revenue by $40,000 for the month of March. However, our controllable operating expenses were under budget by $209,000. So, you know, accountants like to play with debits and credits, expenditures and revenues. And so our net operating income was $169,427 expenses. So Regency Oaks is still doing pretty well financially. And again, I would like to repeat, we only monitor the operating revenues and expenses. That's the money that comes in through your monthly service fee. We don't ever get involved in the money that comes in from the sale of units, okay? That money's totally separate. We do have an opportunity to make suggestions, of course, on that money, and that's money that goes into capital expenditures. And as you know, Regency Oaks now comes under a different sort of ownership. The original owner, how would you put it, created a second company.
Subsidiary?
Like General Motors and Chevrolet.
Yeah, and we are now under that second company called
Janice.
Janus. And Janus has been here once, they're coming again in numbers. And from what we understand is, one of the first things they asked is, what do you need here? And that's a good sign. And my understanding is that the powers to be told them the first thing we need is good and increased assisted living and memory care. So that's one of the things we hope for. So anyway, we're in good financial shape, and that's what we do as a committee.
I think we could find some things to do with that profit. I'm Carol Riesinger, and I'm the chairperson of the Sales and Marketing Committee. It's our mission to give continuous support to the sales and marketing team in order to make Regency Oaks a continued select elite community. And we also, part of our mission is to give support and aid to new residents as they move in and to make their move-in easier and more pleasant as an experience. The members of the team, our director is Aaron Clem, and I'll talk about that a little more later. And our team members are Mary Ellen Bader, John Bergman, Bill DiMarino, Eleanor Fenn, Chris Jennings, Cheryl Hewitt, Chet James, Carolyn Montgomery, and Ann Siraj. Good team, a really good team. We also supervise the ambassador group, and I'll talk about that a little more in a minute. Our accomplishments since last time we met, we've provided assistance to the sales and marketing team by speaking and attending sales meetings, assisting new residents with move-ins and beyond. We've developed a new form for ambassador feedback so that we can see what we're doing and where we need to go. And we've elected 8 new ambassadors. And in the South Building, the 8 new are Andrea Hagner, Diane Ainsley, Charlene Einsel, and Douglas Slade. In the North Building, Elizabeth Graves, Larry Jouch, Susan Mulholland, and Carol Riesinger. So you'll be seeing me at move-ins. We are very pleased to continue to say that the sales and marketing team has been doing a really super job. We're about 97% full here at Regency Oaks, and that's amazing. The sales and marketing team has hired 2 new members, a move-in assistant and a salesperson, and they are now fully staffed. Our sales team is fully staffed. We have some future plans. On April 22nd, we are going to have an ambassador workshop for both the new ambassadors and people who've been ambassadors for a while, to just go over expectations and things we'd like to see happen when people move in and how we can assist them. And we will continue working with the sales team because they're doing some new things. They've developed some new training programs and things that they want to do. So in order to assist them, our team has to be well aware of what it is they want to do and where they want to go so that we can work with them. If you have any questions, please ask. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mary Parham, and I'm the chair of the Health and Safety Committee. The members are Beth Beaumont, Karen Lee, Judy Valerius, Jeannie Anderson, Bob Baker, Dean Tully, Susan Haverback, Betsy Gunn, Shantae Sonnenberg, who is the IHS director, and Kelly Clark, the director of resident services. And I'm not talking out of school, but I'm sure most of you have heard that Kelly's going to be leaving us, and she's going to be leaving a great big hole. She's been wonderful for the Health and Safety Committee to weed through the process of getting things done. As far as accomplishments for the time, we had made recommendations and had subsequent development of the foot and hand exercises. They're on channel 732, and I'm not sure when they play, but we also encouraged all healthcare givers that are taking care of residents to use these exercises. They're very simple, can be done in a chair, wheelchair, whatever. So we're pleased with that. The other thing is, Dean Tully's not here today, but I would like to express our thanks to him for bringing the issue of the herbicides to us. And we filed the formal complaint in writing, which we've never done before. We got to Lindsay and started the whole process with plant and grounds and whatever it is, plant, our house, and got the process going. He did a lot of work. Also, Betsy Gunn did a lot of research in preparing for this. And they met with the person that's doing the MSM edition. And I understand they were pleased. I didn't hear anything back. But we're pleased about that with grounds and buildings. Sorry, that's not even close. The whole issue with the handrails in the south, in the dining room, they are not going to be completely done until they redo the dining room, which is, I don't know where on the plan. However, they did scrape the loose paint, bubbling paint off, and looks like they sanded them a little bit and are using wipes on them frequently. So hopefully they're more healthy as we go down the steps. We filed a request for when they redo the dining rooms to have a look at places for walker parking. And apparently they've also already done a little bit on the south, because our parking seems to have improved as far as getting walkers and wheelchairs out of the way while you're having dinner. So this is probably going to be an ongoing process. We may have to have double deckers or something with the number of people using them. We've had a couple of problems with patients, back to the hospital, residents who have maybe been inappropriately discharged back to independent living. And the issue becomes discharge planning at the facility, the sending facility. And this was referred to Kelly Clark, which she will take care of. Although we're in independent living, the best thing, and I just learned about it, is that if you have a fall, report it. Report it to Carol, the nurse. We do track falls of individuals who are independent living. And, you know, you could be totally with amble. Is that what I want to say? Something like that. Ambulatory. Even if you fall, report it. You don't think it's anything, report it down to the desk or to Carol. That would be great. I'm not sure if she has forms or not, but she probably does, and she probably asks a few questions. We're having a little issue with black mold in a couple, maybe, of the lanais on first floor, and Betsy Gunn has been following through with this with the appropriate people. and was able to have a specialist come in that deals with mold, and he sent it off to laboratories and determined it was black mold and so forth. Anyway, he used a new chemical for getting rid of black mold, and it seems to be working very well in this particular apartment. For some reason, the humidity is very high in that apartment. So that was referred to Darwin to look at switching to this different chemical, which seems to be more effective. And I haven't heard back, so I don't know where we are with that. Anyway, I want to thank you all for bringing issues to us. And if you don't see your issue there, let me know. It may have gone someplace. But we'd be happy to take, especially in writing, what your concerns are about. And we will get back to you. You may not necessarily appear in print, but we'll get back to you with some kind of response.
Thank you, everybody, for your reports. At this time, I'll entertain any questions for any member or the RORO board in general.
Chris,
Okay, go ahead, Dee.
we have had these white panels.
Just a minute.
We can't hear you.
We've had these white panels on the lawn over here since
yeah.
before Christmas. It's going to cost, they're gonna have to sod now, it's so bad. And I know that, I just don't know who put them down and when are they gonna take them up?
Well, the answer to when are they gonna take them up is when they're done.
Done what?
And
Meanwhile,
they're
it's
leaving them
killing
there
the
because they're gonna be back with the big machinery, because they gotta do some work on that S-wing, the M-wing.
Do you find that very efficient? I mean, since before Christmas, they haven't done anything, it's April, and they couldn't have picked them up, and because it is, you're gonna have to put sod down there.
Well, that's part of the damage of the landscape that Corey will be responsible for if he gets the bid to replace the damage done. And that'll be paid for by the blue team.
At Tuesday Talk, Lindsay addressed that. She went out there personally trying to move them.
I know. it's
They're
hard.
heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be using them again, so they're gonna still stay here. Yippee blue team. Any other questions? In the back?
About 4 years ago, I requested from Brent, we worked together to get some solar panels. And the solar panels have been installed, and I was wondering how much money we're getting back from Duke Energy from the solar panels.
That sounds like a finance committee
I
thing.
think it is.
Here's the buck.
What?
I'll have to look
If
into
it's
it.
to finance, I'd like to know.
Question for Sharon.
Lou said he'd look into
I'll
it.
have to look into it.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you would, because I had an engineer come here and give us an estimate on putting solar panels on the M wing, the R wing, the A wing, and the P wing. And it was less than $1 million, about $840,000. And immediately we'd get 30% of that money back for tax purposes. Janice, is that the new one?
Yes.
And are they corporate, and are they making money, or are they not?
They just started.
I understand there's a subcommittee of buildings and grounds. I didn't make the last meeting of buildings and grounds, but I understand there's now a subcommittee of your committee. And that you're a member of that committee that's designed or set up to study that whole issue. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah.
But,
I've been trying to do
where
this
do
for almost.
where do we have the solar panels now that we're generating use from?
The golf carts.
The solar panels are near the greenhouse on the south carports. They're there
Yeah,
now.
okay.
They're really not being taken care of.
Right.
And there's a young man that could do the job. I talked to him about it and said he'd like to do it. So that's one way of doing it. What we need to do is think about what it's costing us. How much do you think we spend on electricity here a year? You probably have that figure there.
I'll get you that, information.
I can
Our
give you an
electricity,
estimate.
my understanding is our electric bill goes to the mountain someplace. It's paid for, from some company. Did you got your financial statement with you?
Yeah. That's just February, but it's still the same. I think it was on the right page.
Go ahead, let me.
Another question?
These things
Well,
are,
I'd like to say
these things are
something
8
else
pages
while
long,
you're
okay?
doing that. That's,
Maybe you two could get together afterwards.
I would also like to just make a statement for everybody to understand. We're in a situation now where fossil fuel is becoming much more costly. We're paying for all these bills here. And we could put solar in, it would be something that we could have for 20 years, and the sun is free. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to dig it out of the ground. You don't have to transport it anyplace. It's not subject to storms or cyber attack unless it's in this particular area. But when you're having all of the things with centralized energy, any place that they have this problem, it could be affecting us. So we have to really look at it, how we can make this thing for us here. Security for us. Okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much, Earl. We understand your passion.
Hi, I'm new here, and I'm not familiar with all the abbreviations that some of you are using. And I would appreciate it if you could say the abbreviations and then what they're for.
Okay, give me an example.
I don't remember them. But there were at least 2 of them that some of the reports were abbreviated.
Once upon a time, I made a chart of all the abbreviations and put it in the Oaks. Let me run it again.
Margaret, I was able to get a paper copy of it,
Yeah.
so that you can look at it if you don't know about
There's
something.
one in the calendar, is there not?
A little bit.
I have a funny story. When I first moved in and got on the finance committee, and Sherry was going through a report, and she said, and the SNF revenue, I go, SNF? That's skilled nursing facility. They just abbreviated it and said SNF. So you have to be careful that, you know, I would have to learn all of the symbols. I'm not sure I know them all yet, but yeah, it's something we have to learn. We also have to educate.
I will have Johanna put that in the Oaks. Yes, ma'am?
I think it would be easier when the reports are given. I think it would be easier when the reports are given, if you could just say what the abbreviation is and then say the abbreviation, because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna remember that when I go back to my department.
I think part of our problem, we've been here a long time and it's part of our vocabulary, and we forget that people don't know what it is.
We're getting a lot of new people.
Yes, we are. We need to be better about that. Thank you for pointing it out. Anybody else with a question? Mary?
I don't have a question.
Oh.
I don't have a microphone. This is a very delicate subject. I just found out recently we had a little problem with a pet having a problem in hallway and causing a problem. How many in here have pets?
Yeah, it's not broken down.
Okay, I'm talking to a few people, but if you're friends, but if your pet has a problem in the hallway, my suggestion is that you take your pet right back to the room, come back to the spot with your cell phone. No,
No, you are responsible for your dog, period.
Right, but I'm
So-
just saying what you do.
You go clean up.
Well, you go clean up or you call to get housekeeping.
Why should housekeeping take care of your problem?
When it's poop,
Yep, it's your problem, your animal. I've had dogs all my life, and that's what I did.
it's kind of rough on the carpet.
Yes, it is, but, yeah, it's a problem, and we don't wanna pick on dog owners, but it's a health problem, so
It's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen. And we've talked about having a dog committee, so maybe that the dog owners could make some suggestions for other dog owners. Thank you.
Getting back, good evening.
Yeah.
Earl left.
Yeah.
Well, just, the committee that we see, the reports that,
No, it's working, get it to your mouth.
Hold it closer.
Like this,
It's working.
like an ice cream.
okay.
Yeah.
Our committee, what we see is a line item called total utilities. And it's not broken down into individual electricity, etc. And Steve Hodges is the chairperson of this new subcommittee. And we'll have to see whether the committee can see the breakdown of utilities, you know, as water, electricity, etc. And I'm pretty sure that we pay a company somewhere out there that collects the electric bills for a lot of CCRCs and then charges us. I'm not sure how that works. It's sort of a strange deal, but I will try to find out and get back to Earl. And at our next meeting, we'll try to give some kind of report on that individually, the utilities. But I don't know how else to reply to that. I can't imagine that we get bills separately for that and how it's broken down. I just can't figure that out.
Any other questions? Yes, Steve?
I have a question for Lou. You broke down the income. Well, you said we $40,000 less on the income, but you didn't break down the $160,000 on the other side. Can you give us some idea of where we saved all that money?
Sure, because our expenses under budget, in other words, what I gave you is a comparison of what the actual revenue was budgeted versus the actual cost. So for example, in the revenue, we had a certain amount of budget and then what was actually brought in. And the expenditure, same thing, what was budgeted and what was spent. So in the revenue line, I didn't bring all the sheets with me, but he has his here, but it's not the right one. In other words, we budgeted an X amount for the month of March for revenue, and this is what we took in. And we were short in terms of revenue by $40,000, give or take a few cents. And that loss was attributed to primarily two factors. One, the fact that 12 second person fees disappeared during that period was one factor. The second factor was that marketing was using as an incentive to waive the monthly service fee till they get into their apartments. And they were doing a very aggressive job. And so instead of having to pay the monthly service fee till from the time they signed that agreement, they had that waived. And so when you add that up, okay, a couple months here, a couple months there for all their sales, and add the fact that we were losing that second person fee for people already here, that added up pretty quickly for a period of the month, and that's why we were behind in revenue, okay? That's that factor. And the factor that we were under budget by $209,000 reflects the fact that we had a lot of vacancies in in employment. That's primarily where the expenditures there are.
So we're saving it in salary.
Pardon?
Saving it in salary.
Yeah.
Yes. So when you add, come out, we were still ahead by $169,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have just
one
a
other
comment
question
with
I'd
that.
like to ask, Chris. The blue team has not finished the gutters. Do you have any idea when they're gonna finish them?
No.
Anything with the blue team, we have no idea.
No, we need a red team.
They were here.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I just had a little question of, Lou. A lot of these people that haven't moved in yet and their apartments are being renovated come for meals. Is that,
Come from what?
for meals, to eat their meals here?
And they can eat, yes, absolutely, from the time they sign.
Okay, even if you don't have
Yeah.
the monthly dues?
That's correct. In other words, if you come in here today and sign a contract, you don't pay a monthly service fee, your apartment may not be ready for, let's say, 3 months. You can come in and start eating here tomorrow. Okay?
One of the things about marketing is every quarter they have something different.
Yes.
So what you came in on is different from what they came in on. I think,
My understanding is they've now stopped that.
Yes.
There's no more freebie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you sign a contract, you start paying a monthly service fee, whether you're moving in tomorrow or whether you're moving in 3 or 4
so
weeks.
marketing does different promotions every quarter depending on what's going on. And a lot of it, I think, comes out from corporate. Any other questions? Okay, let's turn our cell phones back on. We'll have donuts. And I have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please. Second? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much for coming. I hope you learned something today.